For our first story, we're going to get into Sheikh Hasina's trial in 2024 Bangladesh protests. Bangladesh 2024, street erupts in chaos, student protests, ordinary citizens join, and a country is thrown into turmoil. Over 1,000 lives are lost, and the head of the government flees the capital. This is the story of Sheikh Hasina, the woman who ruled Bangladesh for 15 years and now faces one of the most shocking trials in recent history. It all began with a student protest back in July 2024. Initially, it was a fight over unfair civil service job quotas, but the unrest quickly snowballed into a nationwide movement against corruption, injustice, and political favoritism. Millions took to the streets. What started as a peaceful protest turned deadly. The government responded with brutal force. According to UN reports, security forces used lethal weapons, tear gas, drones, and even helicopters to suppress protests. Extrajudicial killings, arbitrary arrests, and torture were widespread. The death toll up to 1,400, with thousands more injured and detained. The world watched in horror as Bangladesh spiraled into violence. On August the 5th, 2024, Sheikh Hasina fled Dhaka by helicopter, leaving the country in shock. The prime minister, who had ruled Bangladesh for 15 years, resigned, and an interim government stepped in. The streets were still tense, but the crackdown horror had already left an indelible mark on the nation. Fast forward to 2025. Sheikh Hasina is now on trial for crimes against humanity. The charges? Orchestrating a coordinated attack on unarmed citizens during the 2024 protests, using state forces and partly militants. The prosecution claims she bears command responsibility for the killings. She is currently tried in absentia, while investigators present video footage, phone records, and witness testimonies linking her to the crackdown. The UN Human Rights Office and Amnesty International are closely watching. UN investigators say there are responsible grounds to suspect crime against humanity, while Amnesty warns about fairness and human rights concerns in the trial. This case is not just about Bangladesh, it is a test of accountability for leaders worldwide. If convicted, Sheikh Hasina could face life imprisonment. Politically, her ouster and trial have reshaped Bangladesh landscape. The interim government now controls a tense, fragile situation, and the people, they are left asking whether justice will be served, or whether this is a cautionary tale of power, protest, and deadly consequences. So where does that leave us with Sheikh Hasina? For 15 years, she built modern Bangladesh, mega projects, electrification, social programs, and international leaderships on climate and humanitarian crises. Yet her legacy is quite complicated. Her consolidation of power, crackdowns on the dissent, and accusations of human rights abuse have left deep scars. Her 2025 trial is a historic moment. For supporters, it may seem like overreach. For critics, long overdue justice. Either way, it is a cautionary tale how power can both create and destroy depending on how it's wielded. Bangladesh streets were once filled with hope, then bloodshed. The trial of Sheikh Hasina continues, a nation watching, the world waiting, and history unfolding. As always, on What the F happened this week, we don't pick sides, we look at the facts, we examine the patterns, and we let you, the audience, decide. Leadership is messy, nations are messy, and sometimes the story isn't black and white. We'll keep you updated as the news story develops, because in Bangladesh, every day could change everything.